Hello everybody, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new album by the pop-punk band Vukovi with their fourth record, My God Has Got a Gun. So this is the first album on the Sharp Tone record label. This is a band that I have heard of for a good few years, but I've never really delved into much of their stuff. I remember listening to the singles Gungo and MISTY, ECSTASY, which I do have some interesting opinions on that. I think Gungo definitely has a sound that pulls me more towards what they're going for, but MISTY ECSTASY is kind of a track that I think lacks the ideas that I think Vukovi excel with on this record. The album plays with a lot more heavy instrumentation. There's a little bit more aggression than Vukovi often puts in. I think it is a nice change from just the normal poppier rock sound to incorporate elements of, I should say, metalcore, and it definitely gives a bit more variety to what this newer chapter of the band is going for. There is some pleasant good surprises, I'd say, on the second half that actually boosted my interest from the first half. I think the first half has got some good material, but I just think the second half hits the landing a lot better. I mean, with tracks like Peel, Kitty and Bladed is 3 for 3, just good tracks that I think hold up nicely. And then you have kind of like sprinkled in some pretty good tracks as well, like Gungo, as I mentioned, is a good single. And I do even like the track My God Has Got a Gun. It's a bit weird in some areas, but I kind of like that because it gives us a little bit of this kind of weird factor into it that is quite nice to hear. And I think the hooks that we have in this record are also quite catchy, for some part at least. There's some tracks that definitely excel with this, and others I think it doesn't quite feel as concrete as it could be, like Misty ECSTASY I think probably was an example of this. And I wasn't even big on the single Snow as well, which I find weird that we actually had some of the weaker stuff being the singles and we just get blown away with a lot more of the better material throughout this record. There's not really a bad track that actually exists on here, and there's not a song that I find quite dull. I think it's got a good a whole good variety of ideas here, and I think it's got a consistency to it as well, and I think they definitely managed to up their game with the instrumentation. They managed to get some pretty good vocal performances. I think they just kind of enhanced the normal Vukovi experience with this new record, but I must say I don't think it's quite as exhilarating as it could be. I think there's definitely potential, and I can see them working on what this album has to push for something even stronger, because I think there's a lot of elements I think work great, but I don't think it pushes it doesn't up the ante quite as much as I wish it did, but it's still great. I think this album has just a lot more grow potential for me, because I would probably say I'd rank it higher than I want to, but I think I'm going to stick with what I've got originally planned. It's more of a 3 out of 5 album for me. It's definitely got room to grow, and I was originally thinking, going from the first half, that it didn't really impress me much, that it probably would be a bit lower, but it's a good album and it's definitely got the ideas right. I think it just needs more of a push into this direction to really expand the writing, because I do like the elements, but I think some of it just doesn't really feel as concrete of a listen. I like the genres of fusing poppier rock with heavier ideas. It's tend to be some of my favourite stuff came from it. I mean, one of my favourite bands is Normandy, and I think they managed to excel a similar idea with that, but they managed to make it work in a way that just everything feels like it's really pushing everything raw from it, and it's nice. And I think this band takes a sort of sound that I think Royal Blood fans would enjoy when it comes to their more hard rock instrumentation over something that's more mainstream appealing. And I think the pop punk sound still being here for a part is nice, and I think the band do a pretty good job of circling that. It's definitely an album with good potential, and I am curious to see what's next for Vukovi. So hope you'll enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.